had to inject massive doses of insulin every day. The moment the needle went in, his consciousness began to blur. As his blood sugar plummeted, he quickly fell into a coma. Half an hour later, medical staff would force sugar water down his throat to revive him. To prevent him from biting off his tongue, they had to prop his mouth open with special dental guards. During the awakening process, violent convulsions twisted and contorted his body, and this was how mental illness was treated in the last century. But who would have thought that this patient, treated like a madman, was Princeton's most brilliant genius? Going back 10 years, while his classmates shuttled between classrooms, John hadn't set foot in one for 3 years. When his roommate Charles asked him why, this was his answer.
I cannot waste time with these classes and these books.
At this university, everyone aspired to attend. While every student followed traditional paths, he insisted on breaking the mold. He wanted to start from scratch, creating his own theoretical framework to prove his worth. In his classmates' eyes, he was always an oddball who never fit in, and his actions truly baffled people. For instance, he would squat in the square studying pigeons' flight patterns, trying to find a new theory to revolutionize academia. However, Martin couldn't help but mock him from the sidelines.
Now she's gonna stun us all with his genius. Which is another way of saying he doesn't have the nerve to compete. You scared?
To defend his dignity, he accepted the challenge. But this game of Go completely shattered his self-esteem. When the last piece fell, the proud John had actually lost.
We should not have won. I had the first move. My play was perfect.
The hubris of the defeated.
The game is flawed.
The shame of defeat made him hurry away from the scene. For 2 whole days, he locked himself in the library, trying to salvage his pride with new theories. When the kind-hearted Charles found him, he was already haggard. Seeing John in this state, Charles was worried and consoled him. What you need isn't to prove yourself, but to find what you truly love. These words lifted John's spirits somewhat, but when he went to the pool hall to relax, he ran into Martin and his gang again. Martin knew John had low emotional intelligence, so he deliberately goaded him into hitting on a girl nearby. And John, still stung by his Go defeat, refused to back down and walked straight over. But this mathematical genius once again displayed his stunning lack of social skills.
I don't exactly know what I'm required to say in order for you to have intercourse with me, but could we assume that I said all that? I mean, essentially, we're talking about fluid exchange, right? So could we just go straight to the sex?
Oh, that was sweet. Have a nice night, asshole.
This awkward social encounter made John completely shut himself off, and he threw all his energy into his research. While his classmates were finishing their theses one by one, his original theory was going nowhere. As graduation season drew closer, his advisor couldn't help but sigh at stubborn John.
Your fellows have attended classes. They've written papers. They've published.
Oh, I'm still searching, sir. For
Your original idea? Yes.
Governing dynamics, sir.
Yes, it's very clever, John, but I'm afraid it's just not nearly good enough.
Even though the advisor kept gently reminding John, he still insisted on his ideas and refused to change. He even had the wild idea of asking his advisor to introduce him to Trump, hoping to find inspiration there. This unrealistic request was naturally rejected by his advisor. In the advisor's eyes, a student just entering academia, doing original theoretical research, was like an elementary schooler saying they wanted to build a rocket. To make John face reality, the advisor gestured toward a scene in the restaurant. A group of people were solemnly placing their pens before a white-haired professor. This represented the highest respect in academia, the recognition every researcher craved.
I'm sorry, but up to this point, your record doesn't warrant any placement at all. Good day.
This scene deeply stung John, making him both yearn for it and feel impossibly distant from it. Back in his dorm, he began obsessing over those math formulas, but couldn't piece together the results he wanted. Despair suddenly erupted, and he frantically banged his head against the window. At that moment, he just wanted to give up everything, go with the flow like everyone else and be an ordinary student. But Charles suddenly made a move, forcefully pushing the desk out the window. With a loud crash, it actually brought John back to his senses. Looking at the shattered desk below, John laughed. One day at a bar, Martin and others walked toward his table, and several beautiful women caught everyone's attention. The most striking blonde became the focus of everyone's gaze, so several classmates secretly competed, all wanting to be the first to talk to her. Just then, a classmate suddenly brought up Adam Smith's economic theory. Individual competitive desire actually promotes overall social welfare. This was meant as a joke to lighten the mood, but it sparked an idea in John.
Adam Smith needs revision.
What are you talking about?
If we all go for the blonde, we block each other. Not a single one of us is going to get her. So then we go for her friends. But they will all give us the cold shoulder because nobody likes to be second choice. But what if no one goes for the blonde? We don't get in each other's way, and we don't insult the other girls. That's the only way we win.
That's the only way we all get laid.
This breakthrough idea thrilled John.
Thank you.
And so in that room, he completed his game equilibrium theory for achieving win-win outcomes. And this theory would overturn 150 years of unshakable economic theory. The professor highly approved of John's work.
Well, Mr. Nash, with a breakthrough of this magnitude, I'm confident you will get any placement you like.
This student who was once dismissed had finally proven his worth through his abilities. After his paper was published, John quickly won everyone's recognition. Even Martin, who once looked down on him, was now completely won over by his talent. After graduation, John got his wish to join Wheeler Laboratory. After 5 years of work, he was even invited to participate in a top-secret military operation. It was the height of the Cold War, and the military urgently needed to decrypt Soviet-coded messages. It was precisely because John had exceptional mathematical talent that he caught the military's attention. Facing walls covered in dense numerical codes, ordinary people would have been dizzy, but John felt like he was meeting old friends. His brain worked at lightning speed, and those seemingly chaotic numbers gradually revealed hidden patterns to him.
I need a map.
In a short time, he precisely marked the key coordinates, and a potential crisis was quietly resolved. This should have been the end of it. But as he was preparing to leave, a man in black in the distance kept staring at him. Don't miss the sequel. Follow for updates.